I need some people to stand. I need some people. I need some young people. Because you are the generation that's going to have to turn this church around and turn the world around for Jesus Christ. I need somebody that's willing to stand up for God. You are a hero. Heroes stand 5 minutes longer than anybody else. I need somebody to stand up. My son Caleb, that I've already talked about, played on a state championship football team in Missouri. You keep standing. Don't sit down. Heroes stand 5 minutes longer than everybody else. But when he was a sophomore and he played on this team, I told him, son, and Colin, had 3 sons, Caleb, Colin, and Jake, and they know. They all know now. Here's the deal. When you play football, and of course Caleb was the first one to hear this, when you play football and you do something that the crowd stands up and cheers and you run a touchdown, son, I want you to understand something. First of all, you act like you know what you're doing. You don't act like that's the first touchdown you've ever run. You be a hero. You hand the football to the referee. You can hug your players. You can jump up all and down. And the crowd at where we live, it's an amazing thing. It's a dynasty of football. It's a dynasty of football. For the last 10 or 12 years, they've won like 6 state championships and been in the semifinals almost every year. He knows what it's like to play on a championship team and to be a part of that. And thousands of people stand and cheer and call out your name. It's an amazing thing as a parent to listen when your son runs a touchdown, to stand up with all of these people and to hear them cry out his name. When he goes in a game, to listen to him cheer your son. I do devotions with these boys. And the first devotion we do every year is we turn around, we look at the stands, and I point out there will be thousands of people sitting up there. And you know what you are? You are heroes to them. Old men that used to play that can't walk anymore, like myself. You're heroes to them. But I want you to understand something, son. My son, when you're done, when it's all done, I want you to look up in the crowd. When everybody else is seated, after the glory is all over with, there'll be one person still standing. And every time my son would run a touchdown his junior and senior year, he would turn around, he'd get to the sideline, he'd turn around, and people began to notice. We sat in the same place, same people every week. They'd notice I'd still be standing. My son would look at me and he would gaze. We sat on the top row and he would look at me. And I'd be standing there and this is all I did. I didn't say anything. He knew what it meant. I pointed at him. I touched the bill of my hat with my finger. And I touched my heart. I simply said to him these words. He knew what they meant. Son, I see you. I will always watch over you. I respect you. My hat will always be tipped to you. I respect you for who you are. And I love you. When I texted him tonight, I said, Caleb, I see you. Caleb, I respect you. Son, I love you. He texts back these simple words. I see you. I respect you. I love you. Stephen looked up into heaven, and I really have to believe that Jesus loves football. I have to believe that he looked down. When Stephen looked up and he gazed into heaven, Jesus pointed his finger and said, Stephen, I see you. Oh, Stephen, I respect you. And Stephen, I love you. I want to read you something that I want you to do and I want you to become in this world. You see, you stand now, and I challenge you to stand 5 minutes longer than everybody else. I hope and I pray that tonight you will never forget these words of God. You are a mighty hero. But to you I say this, you are the church. You are not the church of tomorrow. You are the church right now. If you belong to Jesus Christ, you are His. But you need to understand this. The enemy, church, is on the rampage. But you have to stand your ground. Let neither fear nor adversity daunt your mission. You stand your ground. The cesspools of immorality and ungodliness are overflowing, but I beg you to stand your ground. Humanistic ideologies are running rampant. They twist and they warp the minds of you, our young people today. But I beg you to stand your ground 5 minutes longer than everyone else. Satan's onslaught against the marriage and the family is setting new records, but you stand your ground for your family. When you get married, you stand your ground for your spouse. Greed, lust, violence, murder, rape, perversion, drunkenness, pornography, lying, adultery, and fraud are all having their day right now, but you stand your ground. The world system, it stands to oppose you. Kings and governments legislate to limit you. And most of the populace will still ignore you. But you, young people, you stand your ground. Oh, church, remember who you are. Remember you are a hero. You are a kingdom that cannot be shaken. A people who cannot be reckoned with. A force that the gates of hell cannot hold back. Listen to this. You are an invincible army. You're an indestructible organism that cannot be obliterated or detoured. You hold your head high. You remember your foundation. You keep ever before you your ultimate destiny. And when the battle's done, the blood of your last martyr has died. The noise of war has abated and the dust has settled. You stand your ground. You will be scarred. Yes, you will. You'll be bruised. Yes, you will. You'll be tired. You'll be weary. But you will be sore. But you be sure of this. You understand this. You know this. You are victorious. You are triumphant. You will stand. Yes. Nobody can beat you. Satan cannot have you. You stand with your sword drawn, your crown in place, and the enemy slain. So here and now, tonight, you stand. You stand your ground. You never give up. You are heroes. Every one of you. You are heroes for God. You belong to God. You are His kingdom, His church, His men, His women. You are the heroes that will take over this world for the kingdom of Jesus Christ. You will move with boldness and courage. People will fear you. Satan will run scared from you. You are God's hero. Don't ever forget that.